Hey everybody, it's Mike here. Welcome to the channel. Well, today we're going to be talking about celestial navigation. Now, you're probably thinking, well, hey, I'm a survivalist. I know bushcraft. I know my way around navigation. Not an issue, right? I know how to use a compass. I know how to read maps. Great. Thing is this, imagine yourself in a situation that is unknown to you. You don't know where you are. It's dark. You have no flashlight. You have no map, and you have no compass. How do you navigate, right? So that's where celestial navigation comes into play. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use constellations or even so-called false constellations to figure out exactly where you need to go, right? Okay, so we're using this website here, Stellarium, and what you can do here is type in a location, preferably your location, so you can see the night sky as it moves over in real time at your location, right? Now, right now, I'm in Sydney, Australia. Well, I'm not, but that's what I typed in, yeah? Sydney, Australia. Now, the thing with Sydney, Australia is that is in the southern hemisphere. Let me explain that, right? So let's use that. I'm going to drag in this image right here. Now, there is a line crossing the globe, and that's called the equator, right? And anything north from the equator is considered the northern hemisphere, and anything south is considered the southern hemisphere. Now, if I were in Venezuela, or let's say Cape Town in Africa, or let's say in Sydney, Australia, I would be in the southern hemisphere. Now, you're probably thinking, well, who cares? Well, it's important because the constellations that you see in the sky in the southern hemisphere are different than the ones you see in the northern hemisphere, right? So in this video, we're going to be talking about the northern hemisphere, just to be clear. I'll do an additional video on the southern hemisphere if you want me to, but, that's for another day. Okay, so let's find a location where it is still nighttime and it is in the northern hemisphere. And that's not where I am, so I have to find something else. So let's go to Moscow, Russia. All right, that's what I want to use. Use this location, and you can see it is dark. Now, I turned on the option here, show landscape. So if I kind of hover around, let's say I'm standing in a field, that would be my north, that would be my west, that would be my east, right? Now, what we want to do is we want to find a star in the sky, right, that is called Polaris, or the pole star. Polaris is stationary. It doesn't move around. It doesn't, orbit or anything like that. It's in a fixed position in the sky, and it is due north. And that is the Polaris, right? Excuse me. And if I go straight up here and I click on this guy, I know that this is Polaris. If I click on it, there you go, right? Cool. Now, so the aim of the game here is how to find this, because if I know that that's Polaris, then I know this is north, and then I can figure out where west is and where east is, and so on, yeah? Now, the way I'm going to teach you is by teaching you constellations that you can recognize in the sky, and that will help you to find Polaris. So what we're going to do is we're going to look for two of them, or three of them, that are quite famous, right? Let's start with the Ursa Major. Now, Ursa Major, that's the one you want to look for. It can be seen in the sky, right? And you want to look for this in the real sky, obviously, but you first need to know what it looks like, right? So the full constellation of Ursa Major, also known as the Great Bear, right, looks a little bit like this. You see the lines going on, and the whole image of bear is mythology. That's for another day, but this is what we're looking at. Now, part of this constellation is called the Big Dipper, right? And that is this panhandle thing. So you got 1, 2, 3 stars. You got this little pan, and that shape is called the Big Dipper, okay? Now, if you follow these stars and you go over the bottom of the pan and you go up, you see that it points straight towards Polaris if you follow that line upwards, right? And again, if I click on it, there you go, Polaris. So that's one constellation that will help you. The other one is Ursa Minor, and Ursa is Latin for bear, by the way, right? So Ursa Minor is little bear. Click on that one. And you can see we were down here just now. 1, 2, 3, 4, the little pan line goes straight up to Polaris. In Ursa Minor, it's also looking like a little pan with a bent handle, and the brightest star in that constellation, that is again Polaris. So here we just went up from here, and the final star in that handle is again Polaris, right? So if you can find Ursa Minor or Ursa Major, you can easily find the Polaris star. Now let's do one more. We're going to look for Cassiopeia. All right, C-A-S-S. There you go, Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, again, a mythological figure. The shape you see in the constellation looks a little bit like a bow, as in a bow and arrow, right? Now imagine shooting an arrow that way, okay? Now if you do that and you follow the middle star in that constellation and you go to the left, you will end up with a very bright star in the middle of the sky. And if you look closely, you see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the bent handle. That's Ursa Minor. And down here we have 1, 2, 3. We got the big pot going up straight to Polaris. So this should be Polaris, right? Let's click on it. There you go, Polaris. So now you have 3 constellations that point towards Polaris, and you will never be lost again, okay? That's it for me. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more about celestial navigation or about the Stellarium website, let me know in the comments, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.